Stefon Diggs is finally going to speak. The Texans are on the field because they have to be. Well, at least some of them. We'll give you an update. We'll react to Diggs, and we'll also get into CJ Stroud. He just got headline porn. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time.
They're on the field, baby. The Houston Texans are on the field. Well, some of them. Laramie Tunsil, he is in attendance, but Laramie Tunsil is not working out. You have the highlights going out. Will Kunkel, the king of the highlights. Cody Stutes, the king of the highlights. Stefon Diggs and company, they're going to speak. So we're finally going to hear from Diggs. Might actually do a separate video of Diggs because not going to stream it live here. That's the right of the partner and the flagship. But I want to start here with a little bit of headline porn. CJ Stroud is getting the wrath of Mike Florio. And this is the headline that Mike Florio, who's been known to be hall monitory and known to kind of headline porn folks. This is the headline about CJ Stroud. It says, quote, CJ Stroud dares to criticize Aaron Rodgers. Now, when you see that, you automatically say, damn, might be a little bit of smoke here. Might be a little bit of criticism. But then you actually, if you actually heard what he said, he was just asked, would you rather be Eli or would you rather be Aaron Rodgers? Would you rather have the rings or the MVPs? This was the quote. This was the beginning from Mike Florio on this. Most hot takes about the NFL come from people not currently playing in it. Texans quarterback CJ Stroud is at the cutting edge of the new dynamic. Active players who are willing to speak their mind about active players. And I like this, actually. And I've heard CJ Stroud. I know there's a lot of Colts fans that are upset. And I know that there's some that are, kind of wondering, should an active player say this much? Why not? I mean, he's a fan. He's a fan of the sport. I mean, if you or I are going to get to have opinions, why can't he have an opinion? And furthermore, he's going to have to be the one that's going to go out there and have to write the checks. So I'm seeing a lot of criticism. I actually tend to like this. I think it's exciting. I think it's good that I think there's some athletes who might not be really big sports fans. And I like seeing athletes be sports fans. It is the locker room, by the way. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get to most of them. Again, I'm going to go live during the day. I always go live during the night. You guys have been, a lot of you've been listening to me on In the Loop Sports Radio 16. Fortunately for me, cool people over there at the top. They've always been very supportive of this stream. They've allowed me to do it individually, and the boss said that I can do this because it's my own thing. So it doesn't fall under like some sort of like hypothetical, you have to wait a certain amount of time type of thing. So yeah, the grind's not going to stop. There's no moping. It's a blessed situation. It's a fun time. The Texans are doing their thing. Ronald, appreciate you for coming through. Your day's about to get better, I would assume, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I still think this is kind of a newish thing. But let's get back to the CJ stuff. We'll touch on live stuff for sure. This is from Florio. Most hot takes about the NFL. We already talked about the active players. He's willing to speak his mind. $1 million worth of game. All CJ Stroud said when being asked about Aaron Rodgers or Eli is he said, "You want the rings, dog." But it goes deeper than rings. Quote, "You know what I think it is," Stroud said via Jets X Factor. I've talked to, I guess Florio didn't want to watch $1 million worth of games. Shocker that's not in his Spotify. He said, I've talked to Tom Brady about this because he's a good mentor to me. What he told me is his teammates and how he treats his teammates. And that's where I think it falls off. We don't know how Aaron Rodgers treats his teammates, but you can guarantee that Tom Brady treats his teammates right because he's got those rings. Stroud also said that another quarterback who, like Rodgers, has one ring might have won even more with Rodgers' supporting cast. He says if you give Matthew Stafford a chance like Rodgers had, I guarantee he might have more rings, Stroud said. I think he would have like 3 or 4, close quote. So I find this kind of interesting because CJ Stroud is an active player, and I don't want to say he's playing into narratives. I actually think a lot of times when people talk about Justina's asking for the push-ups, the break push-ups. You're funny, man. But I think that he's also playing up some of the narratives that you hear about Aaron Rodgers when it's critical. And the other thing about this is, a lot of times, like in that podcast situation, I actually think it's almost unfair to quote them via print because I think a lot of times print doesn't read the same or come across the same as audio. And thinking that scene, I mean, he's sitting there with 2 OGs. He's sitting there with Wallow and Gilly, and he's just cutting up talking sports. But when you look at it that way, it could come across as bad. Now, the other thing is, I mean, one of CJ's, I think, closest friends in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, is Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson is on the Jets. So if CJ is saying, and maybe he'll have to clarify because again, he did get kind of headline porned. If CJ is saying that, then you got to think it's not like an individual or a general opinion. 10:30, we're still going to do 10:30. I'm just doing a little something during the day. New part of the schedule. So whether it's 10, whether it's 11, whether it's 12, we'll get the stream. We'll get it more consistent. But right now I figured since D'Amico's about to speak and we're going to get some Diggs talk and I'll upload the Diggs video. Right now it's going to be at 11. So that's just kind of where we are. Blue Ash says he likes how Stroud prioritizes Super Bowl over individual accolades. Yeah, and the other thing is this: like, what if, like, I think if you asked me this and it was like behind closed doors, I might say Aaron Rodgers. Maybe. I mean, we're not talking about not having a Super Bowl. I might say Aaron Rodgers, but CJ Stroud can't say that. He can't say I'd rather have the 4 MVPs or whatever the hell it is than 2 Super Bowls over one. You can't do that. I mean, what would Florio be doing if he'd have done that? Be losing his damn mind. So you definitely can't do that. People ask honest questions and expect dishonest answers. CJ just keeps it real. Well, I don't think. I mean, Florio wasn't the one asking the question. It was just Gilly and Wallow chilling, talking about that. Let's be great every day. No idea what that means, Derek. Uh, no idea, but I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming in the locker room, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Uh, but yeah, I appreciate everyone for rolling through here. No doubt. Be sure to hit the like button and let me know what you think about CJ Stroud going wild uh, for the media and being a little bit headline porn. I don't have any issue with it. I think it's good to see athletes acting like fans and acting like media types. Um, for sure. I think it's absolutely fun. He does have that dog in him. He's got that competitor in him. CJ Stroud's the guy that you see, and you've seen him with Bryce Young. They're clowning each other. They're having fun with each other. CJ Stroud's got that in him. And I think it's cool. I think it's good. Um, People listening instead of their boss, good for you. Don't do anything too crazy. Young Dolph for 3-6 Mafia. Uh, Dolph was like number one on my Spotify for like 2 straight years before he passed. I would probably say Dolph, but as far as 3-6 Mafia, I mean, growing up, that was what it was, and not too many people really had that sound. Um, for sure. Um, Landry at 11, and maybe. Um, Hey, appreciate you for pulling. I do enjoy that CJ is so outwardly competitive. I think it's really, really good. Um, I think it's really, really, really uh good. Don't see what the problem is with what he's doing. CJ likes the pressure. He thrives in it or welcomes in it. Yeah, and I mean, they're just talking crap. I mean, it's like you're talking about Madden. I mean, he's talking about his life. He's enjoying the game. He's doing his thing. I don't see anything wrong with it. I guess D'Amico's about to address the media. Then we'll get uh, Stefon Diggs. Spoiler alert. I don't know that they've officially announced that, but yeah, it's going to be Stefon Diggs. Locker holes or room holes. Nah, loopholes, man. Created that. Still loopholes, man. Unless I should change it. I don't know. But yeah, that's still created. Like 95% of the benchmarks, um, I don't feel weird taking with me. I think we'll probably get some confessions. Uh, we'll probably get some slime off, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't feel weird um doing that. Um at all. For sure. Uh the sponsorships will come. Um what's the rumor of a Texan Madden cover? I think they have multiple Madden covers. So I don't think they just do one. And the other thing is, and I don't know, I need you kids to help me out with this because I'm more of a PlayStation 2, Xbox, back in the NCAA times. I don't even know if y'all remember. Y'all are probably too young. There used to be this website called PS2 Rosters. Tell me if y'all know about this. Um, but PS2 Rosters, um, they had like the memory card with all the players' names on it on NCAA. Uh, they had that, and then you would just put it in, and then you would go through and you would trade in NCAA after for Madden and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, Cody Stutes is covering the Texans. He's actually putting up some pretty damn good highlights right now. He's doing his thing on that. Um, I think I should get a sunflower in the background. Hey, seems like the thing to do, man. You know, just random, right? Random sunflower. Even though you look up what sunflower is, crazy, man. Um, Yeah, PS2 rosters was nice, but yeah, I don't know about the Madden cover, and I don't do kids even have do don't kids just download the games now on PlayStation? Don't they just kind of download them? I don't even know that that was a thing um at all. Had no idea that that was still a thing. But I do miss the GameStop days. What do you want to hear from Diggs? Have I been to? And the answer is perhaps yes, because I am kind of podium critic. I do enjoy press conferences. It was always kind of like the watching experience with my dad. I don't know why my dad liked him so much, but for some reason, after a game, and I think this is where the podium critic stuff comes from. But after a game, like I would just like to see how the players handled the scene, like just the raw emotion. And I'm not saying that there's a perfect way to do it, but you know, they go out there, they battle. What does CJ Stroud call it? The man in the arena, and then they go to the podium and they talk. Or they go up when they get introduced, they give you a little bit of a sound clip. I've always liked that. I mean, I remember watching those with my dad and there was okay, so we're digital downloads. Okay, you can still buy hard copies for what's the purpose of that? Um, but yeah, I don't know anything about the hard the hard copies or anything like that. Um, but I enjoy the press conferences, but I want y'all to tell me, am I being too do I care too much about the Stefon Diggs thing? And here's my reasoning for it. And I've talked to Texans PR about it. I just think it's weird. You know, you traded for the guy 8 weeks ago, and I'm not trying to like rehash anything, but people are excited. I don't think he's going to come out there and say anything stupid. I think he's going to have people pumped up and excited and ready to go and all that. So I don't understand the negative to putting him up there. We're going to get to see him today, but I just thought it should have happened sooner. And I think that should be held accountable. No doubt. I definitely think that it should. Put Stefon Diggs up there. Y'all will see it today. He's gonna knock it out of the park. He's gonna have some quotes. I guarantee that the social media is gonna have Stefon Diggs said this, and it's gonna be going wild, and everybody's gonna be pumped. That's it. What's the purpose of a hard copy to play the game? What do you mean? You can just download it. So if it's already on the system, I don't know. I like the hard copies. I love walking into GameStop and them handing you that box. But I thought kids were over hard copies these days. You telling me any of these guys are playing they're getting hard copies? Yeah, I don't really get all that. Uh for sure. Display games. So what is this, like record vinyl? So you're gonna get this. I mean, if CJ's on the cover, obviously you're gonna want something, but where do you display games these days? You like put them on the side of the thing, you hanging them up. What are we doing here? I've been out of that game for a while, but I'll take your word for it that there's a desire for the hard copies. I didn't know they did all that. They need the general to ask Diggs what he weighs. Now he only does that with rookies. John's actually in I think Dallas or Waco. I talked to him yesterday. I'm actually going to go out to eat with McLean next week. He wants to go to Ambassador, obviously, and or Avalon, and he said both. So I might go out to eat with McLean twice. I'll keep him accountable. But McLean's yeah. So people buy the thing. I got this from the Texans last year. This hat. This was when they were trying to hype up and try to gas up the uniforms and the blue stuff. Um, so digital eats up more space. Okay. Learn something new every day. So I wanted to touch on this as we anticipate Stefon Diggs. I think most of you play fantasy football. There was a time um, when you talk about fantasy football and it's kind of a niche, and not really much of a niche in I'm sure a lot of your circles, but now I mean you can't go anywhere without talking about fantasy football. And some people don't like to draft players that are rivals to their team. Some people won't put them in the lineup. I think that's a little bit crazy because I think the game goes the way that the game goes. But it's kind of been a little bit frustrating if you're a Texans fan or if you follow the Texans to not be able to have any of these guys on your fantasy squad. But that kind of changed this year. Now, last year you got some steals. I'm sure some of y'all ended up with Nico. Some of y'all ended up with Tank for a while. CJ, hell, he went and drafted in some leagues, and he ended up damn near winning people leagues with the way that he performed. I'm sure Dalton Schultz was selected. I'm sure you were disappointed if you were one of those people that took Damian Pierce in the second or third uh, round. But if you look at the Texans this year, it's going to be insane when these guys are going to go. And we're getting to that. We're getting too close to fantasy draft season. I mean, the season starts in about 2 months. I don't know. When y'all do y'all's drafts. Um, but yeah, I look at this squad and I think about the biggest problem I'm going to have drafting any of these guys in fantasy is I think that Mixon would be a solid pick. I think that would be a good pick, like depending on when it happens. I don't know. Is that a 5th round thing? Is that a 4th round thing? Does he slide into the 3rd because he's kind of the workhorse? But I don't know what the hell to do with the receivers. I don't know what the hell to do with the receivers at all. Diggs has been a pretty solid back end of the 1st round guy the last few years. And he's carried you home in a lot of ways. Last year, if you took him in the back in the 1st round, you're feeling really good the first few weeks, and then he kind of fell off. Years before that, if you took him in the 1st round, you're feeling really damn good about yourself. Nico Collins is now a guy who many people believe is going to be the number 1. And then you have Tank Dell, who was really going toe to toe with Nico Collins last year, back and forth as to who the biggest playmaker was. And you got Tank Dell running full speed right now, looking revived. Year 2 of a real NFL offense. No more of that air raid type of crap that he was running. And he's shoulder to shoulder with CJ Stroud. I mean, CJ Stroud's taking him on $1 million worth of game. Some of you might say, well, that's just a podcast. That doesn't mean that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's a very, very nice gesture by CJ Stroud. Very, very nice gesture by CJ Stroud. No doubt. People are asking for the split screen. You actually have to have a little bit of a delay with when they're doing it live. Now, if you're on the flagship, you can potentially do it. But we'll get it. I'll see if I can get a little bit behind. My thing's kind of been a little bit off too, but if you can get a little bit behind, you can. But can't do it live. So yeah, you gotta wait a little bit for D'Amico. That's the rule, and it's a good rule. Um, for sure. So yeah, D'Amico's getting up there. You know what he's gonna say? D'Amico's gonna say, "Yeah, it's nice to have everybody here. Diggs is great. Alshire is gonna be awesome. Tank is in his inner circle now. I think he's always been. I think CJ has a pretty deep circle. How many brothers does he have? It seems like there's a lot of players in the NFL that he calls his brothers. No doubt. Am I working on a hat design? I don't know what that means. What is that? What does that mean? Um, let me know what what that is. I'm trying to look up the and this is new because I'm having to use Firefox today, but I'm trying to look up the share. I know this is riveting on, but you could be listening to much worse. I can assure you. Oh, merchandise, man, and no one want no locker room merchandise. Click on the permissions icon next to your URL. Or okay, no, we ain't needing a locker room merch. Yeah, he did say he cried when he heard about Tank. Yeah, I'll be doing all types of stuff with Stutes. We were talking about me and Stutes before even yesterday. Me and me and Stutes were going to we were going to have a brainstorm session this weekend about some stuff that we were gonna do. Uh so that's where we were. Let's see what we got. Derek, you're a nice guy, man. You the man. I got a spot for you in a 30-year-old fantasy football league I run in-person draft. Man, I've been in the same league for 12 years, and I always feel guilty when I play in 2 leagues. I always feel like I'm like cheating. I feel dirty. I feel like I'm just kind of cheating the system whenever I do um the that whole thing. Let's just see what this looks like. This is a trial here. Firefox is really weird. Um, but we got the other one I use, it works pretty good. Stream let's see what we got. And nah, it's tripping. So we'll have the press conferences on the different one. I'll get the thing. Well, we can do a listener league for sure. Hit the like button for sure. That does definitely very much help out. But yeah, the Firefox stuff um, is trash. Do you think Stefon Diggs will say anything that goes viral? I know Florio is going to be foaming out the mouth. Do you think that Stefon Diggs says anything that goes viral? If so, what do you think Stefon Diggs will say? Do you think Diggs comes out and calls out Buffalo? Do you think he just says something about CJ Stroud? Do you think he just says something about we got the best receiving core in the league? Something like that is coming out with Stefon Diggs. Get ready for it. That is definitely going to for sure. Look, it's just a different thing. Y'all know normally I can stream it. This is just a different one. Yes, Florio is foaming at the mouth for Diggs. And let's be honest, even if Diggs doesn't say anything crazy, Florio is going to act like he did. Let's just be serious about that. What do we got here? Firefox is crazy. Yeah, I can't mess with that. Not good. Not good at all. I don't think he's going to come out and say that CJ is better than Josh Allen. That would be a little bit nuts. Who are y'all taking if you in the first pick in fantasy? Who's your first pick in fantasy? Who you going with this year? PPR. Who's the first pick? I'm leaning towards McCaffrey or Bijan. I'm very close to Bijan. RMAC says Bijan. Bijan, I got an itch to perhaps go with Bijan. McCaffrey, you can't go wrong. It's just one of those things. It's going to be tough. I guess you got to go McCaffrey, but there is like a Bijan factor. Other news from the Texans, and Stutes is on the scene as usual. Best in the game at what he's doing. Uh, he's for some reason has a crush on Max Tooley. I guess the guy had a nice PBU. Stingley had a nice PBU while guarding Diggs. Lassiter, uh, apparently was running step for step with Tank on a rep. Do with that what you will. Landry Tunsil was chilling in the t-shirt with the sleeveless over. And really that's what we got. We'll hear from Diggs soon, very, very soon. Um, but right now we got just D'Amico doing his thing, talking about awareness and ready to do stuff. Every 3-year wide receiver always breaks out. I don't is that true? Like, I hear all this stuff. I hear contract years and all that stuff. Is that really true? I don't know about all that. There was an idea. Stoots wanted to have a Madden tournament. Uh, so there's that. Mr. Benjamin, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking, man. Doing awesome. It was great, man. Very excellent. Which rookie do you think will be good in fantasy? Guess Caleb Williams. I guess yeah, I would say Caleb Williams. Um Joseph's asking questions. No, I mean, I'm good. It's all good, man. Siraj, I am not my friend. Uh, but it's all good, man. There's still a lot of love over there. But yeah, the that I am definitely not. Um, yeah, for now, here's the thing, and I think most radio hosts will tell you this. Now, some radio hosts, it doesn't matter because they're not really gonna do much anyways. Like they just pick and choose when they want to get ready or whatever. But like in in June, this is like the toughest week for sports radio. A lot of people call it the dark days. It's before training camp starts in most NFL cities. And my experience is in three cities that they're pretty big into football: Dallas, Cleveland, Houston. So in those cities, June is like, man, it's the grind. And something that something that that often happens, and this is like an ass backwards way of thinking, and this is really like you don't want the Texans to think this way or anything like that. Um, or any you don't want anyone in life to think that. But let's just like I'll just give an analogy, okay? If I have like let's say that I have a cup right here. By the way, I do have a locker room cup, so there is that. So if I have a cup here, right? And let's say that I have to fill this cup up with sand, okay? And let's say that the sand is just right here in front of me. There's a big ass pile of sand. It's all the way up to here. All I got to do is grab the sand and put it in. Right? I got to fill the cup with sand. It's easy, right? That's football season. Now, it's easier to think, it's easier to have topics, it's easier to talk about, but that's football season. If you give me this cup now and the sand is nowhere to be found, do you work harder to find the sand or do you work less hard to find the sand? You got to work harder, right? Because it's harder to get and you still got to fill as much of the cup. You still got to fill 4 hours of time. And I mean if you're taking pride in it. And I think that's one of the most ass backwards things is um some folks will come in and be like, oh, I'll just hum it today. No, you should have been grinding for that sand, man. You got to fill the cup no matter what. So yeah. The back and forth with Hannah, man, I wouldn't completely dismiss the possibility of that happening again. Wouldn't completely dismiss the possibility of that happening again, at all. Other questions, in the locker room. Thanks to Derek once again, man. I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Room holes. We're going room holes, man. I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that. Uh, I don't know about that. Uh, what's my finals prediction? Um, I think Boston's too good, aren't they? I mean, I know that Luca's playing well. He seems to thrive on that environment. Would it shock me to see him steal one of the first two, despite being a 7-point dog? But yeah, I think you have to go with that depth, especially it looks like Porzingis. Yeah, Hannah's a fan of the locker room. She knows that. No doubt. But yeah, the players are there's gonna be a 1 hour break. They've been doing this weird ass thing lately with the Texans where D'Amico speaks and then there's a 1 hour break. So 12:15, we'll get Diggs. I'll keep the content going. Y'all know whether I'm on the radio or whether I'm in here, I'm gonna continue to post. Uh but I'll probably do a separate video with the Diggs and I'll still do the nightly stream um as well. Uh For sure. Uh, just downloaded the YouTube app so I can better listen to the stream in locker room while doing other stuff work. Man, I appreciate that very much. That's very, 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 very nice. Um, can't go for Boston, Luca getting a ring. I don't know if are you a Houston guy, Chris? If you're rooting for Dallas in Houston, I don't know how that's gonna be good for you. Um, What's good, Landry? We rocking with you for the time being. Appreciate you. Keep it rolling, brother. Keep it rolling. I appreciate you. This is a hot take. I actually kind of support this. The new H logo Cal made for Hannah. So he was thinking about Hannah and he said, I'm going to give you this logo. I'm going to give you the H. They actually had a few H's. We were at, I forget where we were. There was like a media gathering and they had it at the fan council too. But they had the H's and they had people actually vote on the H's. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really put a lot of thought into H's. Like I'll talk about uniforms, I'll talk about crapping on uniforms and all that type of stuff, but I don't really put a lot of thought in what the H looks like in on the hat. So I don't even know if the one that I voted for happened. I don't know if they selected any of them. I have no idea. But I don't really do that. I don't really care about the H. We'll get Hannah in here, I promise you. Um, no doubt. Wha Bro, much love to 6'10", but you and Cody have such an electricity regular schedule now. Yeah, every day. And it's the digital game. And really, like, honestly, I have to give, and I've said this a lot, and I'm not just kissing their ass. The bosses, Sarah and Parker, allowed me and like not all bosses would allow. They allowed me to do the locker room. They allowed me to do it separate, and they allowed me to build it from the start of the 2022 season to now. So I think that's the direction that stuff is heading. I still love doing a radio show. Absolutely love it. It's my favorite thing to do. I've never, ever, 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 ever in my life taken one off. I've never gone in there with nothing to talk about. I've never gone in there not prepared. I've never done that. That ever. It's never been a let's wing it. It's very well laid out, and it is trying to elevate the ones around. Never taking that off. Um, and it's one of my favorite things. I don't know what the new medium looks like. I don't know if maybe it at a different station or what. Never say never on anything. There's nothing bad about it. But it has been, and I said this on the Barrett Sports Media thing that they have. It has been a little bit uh just not as exciting, not as fun. I think they were aware of that, and I think you could feel the vibe. Like my vibe wasn't as good as it usually was. And when you love something as much as this, the vibe's not good. Sometimes you'd listen back to a show and be like, "Oh, well, damn, you kind of avoided that." Um, but in my perfect scenario, it's everyone ready to do the show, everyone good to go. That's the top, that's the main focus and all that. And that's sometimes whenever some people are better at not having a bad vibe when they're frustrated, some people aren't. But there's no like groundbreaking thing. I like all those people. It's not anything bad. So I wouldn't there's not gonna be any like, F them or F him or anything like that. It's not like that at all. And it's really not even something that's really that disappointing, to be honest with you. Because I like the excitement of this. I like the fact that maybe when training camp happens, I can intensify stuff, but I can focus on this stream and really do the same damn thing that I do, minus having the studio, minus having Figgy across from me, doing what he does. And he's the best in the world at what he does. And he is the best. He is the best uh, in the rhythm, on the scene type of dude as far as producing. I mean, if you were ever watching the stream, there was times where it's like, hey, pull this, pull this, pull this, because I was doing a lot of the clips and it was good. Yeah, nothing but love for Stoots, nothing but love for 610. Sometimes the spirit just gets kind of crushed. Different people look at radio different ways, um, and use it for different ways. Sunflower. Excited for OTAs and some good morning locker room. So here's some money. The Rhino, appreciate you, my friend. Go buy me a Subway sandwich with that. Although I don't think they have the 5 land. I didn't leak a damn thing when it came to the uniforms. Uniforms leaked on their own. They got that leaked. That wasn't me. Um, for sure. Chris, new subscriber for me and Stoots. Appreciate you. Looks like I should say appreciate your service as well. Um, we're going to be in this. It's going to be a fun time for the Texans. Um, and we got that uh, for sure. No Diggs yet. He's not coming up till 12:15. Not coming up till 12:15. So we'll probably take a break. Once I get the Diggs email, we'll do a little react to that little later. Hell, I'm just sitting around. I can do content all day. 10:30 stream still going to go, but we'll get to the Diggs there. Just a little Q&A um, for sure. I could see your frustration on camera past month. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't do as good a job of hiding it, but it's not. It's not. It is what it is. Um, for sure. It kind of um is what it is. Dang, got something in my eye. Jeez. Damn. Okay. My bad. Um, where's coach? Coach already spoke, man. You mentioned the P word. That's gonna happen. Um, we're trying to figure out how to lay it out. I think it's probably gonna be a couple times a week if I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit. Um, but yeah, we can figure out the podcast thing uh for sure. Someone says, going back to the video games, if you don't have a hard copy, damn, really did get some, like some chapstick in my eye. If you don't have a hard copy, you don't actually own the game. Very interesting. The players they have an hour break between players. Um, will I attend and cover training camps? I'm hoping so. I would think so. Um, kind of working on that. I mean, I've talked to people yesterday. I'm not trying to lay out everything like in uh the certain situation um like this quick. Let's start our own AM station. You got some bread? Where's the baby sleeping? um Everything is going streaming from sports content to cable TV. Yes it is. um yeah, we're that's gonna happen. Like me and Stoots will do a podcast. We've been talking about this um, for a while. Um, there's it's where it's at. Um, Getting a lot of text and stuff. Um, will I be able to break news? I mean, maybe. I don't know if something happens. Um, that could happen, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the locker suits, it'll happen probably when camp happens. It'll probably be 2 days a week. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. We've kind of thrown this out there. So that could happen. Let's talk about the back to the CJ Stroud stuff that Mike Florio is really pushing. Do y'all think that, and I've heard Brady say it, I've heard other quarterbacks saying it. Do y'all think quarterbacks have to carry themselves like a certain CEO way? I know Cowherd kind of goes off on it, and anytime Cowherd says anything, especially about the Texans, uh, you kind of roll your eyes. Now Brady's kind of said it a little bit, but do you think that quarterbacks need to act like a certain way or carry themselves in a certain um, manner and not talk as much crap as CJ Stroud is? Because for me, I have no issue with it because I think it's authentic. And I also don't think that it's that the work is going to struggle. And I also think it's kind of symbolic of the way that fans speak. Now, if if we get to a point where CJ's not working hard and CJ's going Hollywood and CJ is CJ is kind of his play is not matching his words. Okay. But I'm not going to get to a point where if they lose a game, I'm going to say it's because CJ said stuff. I like the trash talk. I like the trash talk uh for sure. Um Gay Morgan says I like the bleep talk. It's the kind of talk you have with your buddies on the golf course. Yeah. So do you want that from the quarterback? Um that would be the question. Antonio Brown's biggest issue with Big Ben was when he started acting like an owner. Yeah, I don't know if CJ is going to do that. I think he's always going to be um, one of the guys for sure. Someone wants the neon sign on. I don't know. I don't think it looks good in the light. I think it's actually going to blind you. To be honest with you. Yeah, it's not a good look right there, is it? Is it or not? Is that yay or nay with the neon sign, even without the light on? I don't know about all that. I don't know if that's a good look or not. Can't tell. Um, I think CJ's doing a phenomenal job carrying himself in a respectful manner. Um, he's just a competitor. Let the competition begin. I agree. I do hate when Florio kind of puts it in print and doesn't really talk about the context. I think the real CJ we got last year was introductory CJ. He was always pretty charismatic at the podium. I always enjoyed CJ Stroud at the podium, uh, for sure. Uh, but yeah, no more Hannah. Don't never say never on that. Um, wonder if CJ serves what CJ serves at these team dinners he holds. I bet it kind of changes, man. I bet there's some steak, something like that. I don't know if he's like I don't know if he likes Mexican food. Some of those Cali dudes, like all the Cali dudes last year, like Henry Toto, um, Evan Jordan, although he's a Las Vegas guy, CJ. Robert Woods, like all those Cali dudes, they swear by In and Out. I know that's kind of a sin in Texas. I actually don't dislike In and Out, be honest with you. And I mean, I like it's it's fresh, man. I saw Gordon Ramsay the other day said that it's his favorite fast food. He knows a little something. I think it's a nice change up. Also think it's more consistent, which I think might I mean, y'all been to a bad Whataburger. I don't know that I've been to a bad In and Out. Or at least not like quality they're trying to set. Raul Garcia, I was hoping for a Chiefs Texans week 1, but that podcast got me so excited to go to the Stroud house again, and let the Colts uh, know off the rip how the season. Yeah, CJ really did, and that's going to reemerge. Like that might be pushed to the side, but the comments that CJ had about the Colts and the back and forth between Franklin and Franklin's got his podcast and everybody wants CJ on their podcast, that is going to be a damn battle. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the Colts came out. Because I think y'all can even give this type of respect to the Colts. That atmosphere for week 18 last year was badass. That was a badass atmosphere in Indy. I mean, they showed out. And the Texans showed out. Yeah, the first play to Nico Collins, but yeah, you give me that rivalry. And the other thing I like about the Texans Colts is that you have I think look, I think CJ is the long-term answer at quarterback for the Texans. I don't know if Anthony Richardson's the long-term answer at quarterback for the Colts. I would bet against it. He can't really stay healthy, and I think people will start to figure him out. I think he's the type of quarterback that you can kind of figure out. But he has a coach who's going to maximize his skills in Shane Steichen. And I think D'Amico and Shane Steichen is going to be one of those like classic division coach type of battles. Like I don't even know like to find an example. And I don't want to take it too far, but like a Tomlin Harbaugh, like both these guys around for a decade, playing 2 times a year, battles, identity, history, because you've already kind of started the history. Now we can throw the Peyton Manning and all the other crap aside from the Colts, but you look at the history of the Colts and you look at the Texans and Colts, their brief history. You had the week 18 game with everything on the line, the emotions, the heartbreaking moments, the exciting moments, and you just kind of build off that. I actually thought Shane Steichen was kind of disrespected last year, but I think it's going to be good, um, for sure. I think it's going to be really, 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 really good. Um, let's turn the thing off for a sec. Yeah, we'll get that. The camera's straight. I'm probably going to be upgrading pretty damn um quick. Uh, for sure. I have no idea what the sexy party talk. I'm hearing all kinds of stuff about like guesses or whatever. Um, yeah, get the likes up. Be sure to like the video. That's always a much appreciated thing. I think it helps in some way, shape, or form. I guess they talk about like rhythms or something like that. I don't know, but I'll be coming on daily. Probably 11 o'clock, and we will continue to get this going. No doubt. Cali folks think they have the best Mexican food. They do. Uh, and so do our In and Out stinks. I know In and Out. There's In and Out Whataburger, and yes, I'm from Houston. So you're getting whatever you do, just don't have McLean on, please and thank you. It might sometime. It might sometime. McLean's my dog, man. But who knows? Um, number 5, no tomatoes. That's the bacon. That's the bacon, egg, and cheese. Uh, for sure. Okay, bye. Going to lunch. Guess Whataburger it is. Hey, number 2, no doubt. Poor Stutes. He's having to sit there and wait for this Diggs thing. You think they're like peppering him? Hey, don't say anything bad about Brandon Bean and Josh Allen. We don't want to do that. Once I get the Firefox fix, we'll be able to stream these after the fact. Get to D'Amico. we can push this for sure. We're 350 deep. I appreciate y'all for being 350 deep. I like the intro song, man. I like hearing Figgy's voice, man. It's good to hear Figgy's voice. Um, why do you hate the intro song? What do I need to do? I'm open for suggestions. Um, if I need one. Shake Shack doesn't count, bro. That's like that's a different tax bracket, man. That's a different tax bracket. Uh for sure. Two questions. Appreciate you, Dietology. Two questions I would ask Diggs. What went wrong in Buffalo? There was talk about Riff in Buffalo. What went wrong in Buffalo? Um, and what would you say to the people who question the question how you would fit with this organization, and the word divas thrown around a lot? How do you respond to the notion that you could be a diva receiver and that maybe the Texans took a massive risk in bringing you in? Those are the only two questions that I need right there. Um, the intro isn't song doesn't play right. Da 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 da. Jackson Gatlin. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what's up with the jam. We'll try to get it right, man. No doubt. There's the green, the red. Yeah, you got plenty of time now, right? This is a good time, man. Why y'all mention Freddy's, man? Are people eating at Freddy's? What are y'all grubbing at Freddy's? Figgy recorded it when he was in the pen. Come on, man. Figgy ain't been in no pen. Y'all are crazy. Those questions will get asked, Eric. Come on. You don't think they'll ask that? You don't think they're going to ask about his reputation as a diva receiver? Come on. They got to. They'll do that. Uh, for sure. They'll do that. Um, there's no doubt about that uh, at all. But you don't think they'll ask it? Uh, Culver's, all that. Yeah, I don't know about these suggestions. I don't know. Y'all are kind of hurting me with these suggestions. Not uh big. Nah, I mean they got to ask him about the diva. I will bet you DJ Enemy asks about the notion that he's a diva receiver. I'll bet you. How much y'all want to bet? I'll bet you $5 DJ does that for sure. I think DJ will ask about the reputation as a diva receiver. He'll obviously be asked about CJ. He's got to be asked about what's going on in Buffalo. They're on the scene. They'll figure it out. Don't sell all the local media types too short. So, some of them are there to work. You know, some of them are there to work. You know, and put out some stuff. So yeah, uh, y'all can definitely check that out. We'll all watch it together at 12:15. I'll probably drop a video, probably about 3 or 4. Hell, maybe 2:33. I don't know. I might go live. Yeah, maybe we can just go live and react to the Diggs video. I might go live like 3 times today. F it. Why not? Especially if we're gonna roll this deep. 3:37, little live Diggs Q&A. Who says no? Y'all down with a little live Diggs Q&A at about 4, 3, 2, whenever the hell I feel like it. And then the 10:30 stream. What a time to be alive, man. This is good stuff. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Be sure to subscribe, like, ride along. And always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Appreciate y'all for joining. Again, just kind of the start of a new routine, just a little dipping the toe in the water. Always remember, wait for the theme song, baby. When it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. This is only going to expand. This is only going to get better. I think this could be the future. Maybe Cody Stutes gets involved and we figure this out. We've been talking about this for a while. Sometimes you just need to get the little itch. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Thanks for joining the locker room.
Yeah, it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, top two, and we not too plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number one. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the